Nice, nice. What about now? Oh, hey, can you hear me now? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that's it. That's fantastic. What a start to the stream. Absolutely tremendous. I'm hoping that that's it. I'm hoping that that's it. Thank you for the donation, Sean Gordon. I appreciate it. There we go. Hey, everybody can hear me now. What a fucking ready, man. As I was saying, hello, good evening. Welcome along to the stream. We always have tech. You can't get everything perfect when you're going live. You know, some things just don't go right. I feel like a right knob. But aye, hello, welcome. Nice to see you. Look, I was just explaining there to myself, because I was the only person that could hear me, that the reason that this stream is so... I know it's not ideal. It's 11 p.m. on a Sunday evening. Usually, people are probably getting prepared for bed to go to work tomorrow, to go to what, school, uni, college, whatever. It's not usually an ideal time to watch a YouTube video or watch a YouTube live stream. However, I sadly had work at 6 o'clock tonight, which basically meant, if you know where I work, it basically meant that I had to sprint from Celtic Park today to get to work. I was 5 minutes late, not that bad. I was actually quite proud of that after the full-time whistle went. So I never had the chance to actually make a video, a review today. That's what happens when you get thrown a fucking 4 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday. Horrible time. But we're here anyway. We're here to have a little bit of a fun late night. We're here to recap today's game, everything else. And also, if you can see on the screen, we're here to talk about Celtic in any fashion you want. We're going to have a wee bit of fun, a wee Q&A session over the next wee while. And we could talk about different things. Now, I've seen people getting concerned about it in the title. We're not actually going to be talking about the Super Bowl. I mean, I might give a prediction to I think who'll win it, but it's just that Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody who's up with me, are you watching the Super Bowl? Will you be watching it tonight? I certainly will be, as long as I can stay awake. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Rams. Is it the Los Angeles Rams now, rather than the St. Louis Rams? We'll get into all that later. So I'm assuming that everybody will be watching that's up with me tonight, and maybe that's why I got some viewers. And Aiden's asking, do I like Christian Horner? What a silly question. Of course I do. Right, one more thing before we go on. Thank you to the donation to none other than the man himself. It's Sticky Fingers. Hey, say the name out loud. How you doing, Ryan, mate? Was slagging Ryan's ballot last time, but on Thursday's, but thoughts on Thursday's game and how far can Celtic go in the Conference League? I really like it, Sticky Fingers. Thank you very much. We will come back to your question. I'll try and remember anyway, or I'll touch on it when we get into the Q&A session. But let's talk about today's game a little bit. And let's talk about what I thought about today's performance. We are through to the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup, which is fantastic. A chance to progress into another spot at Hampden in the semi-finals. We'll find out who we draw tomorrow night. I mean, it could be Ibrox. It could be a derby at Celtic Park. It could be any team left in the competition. It could be, for all we know, Peterhead might knock out Dundee tomorrow night. It could be them. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see who we get, but it's fantastic that we are, once again, making a claim now to go out and hopefully win another trophy. We've done it in style today. We got 4 more goals. And listen, it probably wasn't the most perfect game. I sat there in the first half thinking to myself, Christ, why have I even turned up today? It was really, really boring. I thought it was really slow. And I think we've seen that in Ange Postecoglou's reaction from the sideline today. We've seen him screaming in that first half at the team for not going forward with the ball, or whatever reason it was. It just didn't seem happy, and I don't think he had any right to be happy. It was a really tough watch in that first half, and despite the fact we were up 1-0 and we went into half-time being 1-0 up, I don't think that... And by the way, Beans, I wouldn't say it's far off shout, by the way. Even though we were up 1-0, that first half was a bit slower. I think we really came into life in the second half. We've got individuals to talk about, and I think there's certainly performances that have to be addressed, and we're going to have a lot of them up on screen. I'll bring up your opinions as we go along. But that first half was really poor. I think we can admit that. But it's so stereotypical to the normal cup games you get at Celtic Park. I am going to say something right now. And Aiden, I've just looked at my tweet deck and I've seen that. That is absolutely tremendous. I'll be giving that a like when it's done. But you know, it's very stereotypical, I think, for the cup games at Celtic Park to be like this. And I'm going to say something right now. I fucking hate cup games at Celtic Park. I hate it. I don't know why, I just hate it. If it was up to me, I'd rather play like your Raith Rovers and your Arbroaths and all these teams away from home. A chance, number one, for supporters to get a fantastic away trip, but they're just so boring. The fans don't turn up in numbers. The atmosphere's always a bit flat. Didn't help today that the lower half of the standing section was closed. And the games are always piss poor one. I've never sat down and, even I think we spanked Alloa a few years ago, right? It was 2016 and we spanked them 3 or 4-0 maybe, I think it was. But it wasn't an enjoyable night. It was like you went to the game, you seen the game and you left. It just never. I much preferred, we played Arlo, of course, in the last round away from home, and I enjoyed actually going out, having a pint and watching it on the telly. Look, there's nothing in the world that beats being at the football, not at all. But these games, there's always something about them that the atmosphere just lacks for me. Adam said here, they're always just dead. I don't know what it is. I would much rather get an away ticket. Head over to one of these away grounds and watch a cup tie. I know that you like that home advantage. I know that's the... it was 2-0. Thank you, Liam. I know that it's always great to go out and get a home game, a home tie. It gives you the favourable chance of going through to the next round. But it was absolutely dead today. And it does make you think, you sit there. You really do. You sit there and you watch the game and you think to yourself, would I have been better off watching this now? You really, I'm honestly one of these guys who don't want to miss any game. I'll go to every single fucking game. I don't want to miss it. I hate it. There's nothing in the world worse than missing a Celtic game. I've got a season ticket and I like to exercise that by going to every single game. However, sometimes you sit at these games and you just think, bloody hell. But I know it's a controversial opinion. But we are through to the next round. Fantastic. Let's get some comments up on screen about tonight's game. Scotland the Brave bringing up one of the first points that I want to talk about. James Forrest is done at Celtic. Ryan is correct. Legend, but he's done. Listen, Scotland the Brave, I wanted to talk about James Forrest. I think that was one of the big things from today. Very quickly, before we talk about Forrest, let me talk about the 4 goals. Let me actually wrap up first on talking about the game. We'll come on to James Forrest. I thought the second half were really good. There was a significant change of tempo and quality and just overall product when Jota came onto the park. When he came on, it was much, much better. Did he go off the pitch crying? I wouldn't be surprised, Aaron. That's the main thing. When Mikey Johnson went off the park for me, the game changed. Jota came on, and it speaks volumes that Jota got man of the match today when he played, half an hour? I can't even remember how many minutes it was exactly played. Scales' goal in the first half as a topper. He loves it. That's the second topper he's scored this season. And I really like Liam Scales, I must say. I really do. And I hope that his career just keeps getting better and better at Celtic with the chances and the opportunities that he will get along the way. The second half, though, when Jota came on, it was a different game from Celtic. We looked like Celtic. And I think that's what we just didn't look like ourselves. Throughout that first half, we didn't look ourselves throughout the first half. Throughout the first portion of the second half, we were really slow, we were really poor, and yeah, it was really poor viewing. That's what it was. But Jota came on, changed the game, and the 3 goals after that are tremendous. Jota was just fantastic and influential in everything that he'd done. It was great to see Julian come back as well. But Maida, thank goodness he got a goal, because there was people last week saying he was rotten. Absolute nonsense, but good to see him get a goal. Really good to see Giacomakis get a goal as well. I was really happy to see him get one, because I'm a big Giacomakis fan and I want him to do really well at Celtic, so I was happy to see him get a goal as well. And we were just really good in that second half. I thought we were really when Jota came on anyway, and we've seen a lot of what Celtic's about, and ultimately we're through to the next round. So but let's talk about some things from today. Scotland the Braves comment earlier. We've got to talk about Forrest, and we've got to talk about Mikey Johnson. There's a lot of comments in here. I think Mikey was faking it. There's a lot of comments in here. We've got Mark Johnson was piss poor. Chill pill. Johnson is hopeless. Mikey Johnson needs to go ASAP along with Forrest, says Connell Elder. Chill pill again. Forrest be a great start. A lot of the criticism. Gary Moore. Mikey Johnson's done another injury and no confidence or end product. I always feel, I always really do feel, and Kieran, when I am done in Tesco, don't you worry, they will be coming, and we'll talk about that maybe in the Q&A section. Johnson is not a Celtic player, and we've seen this all season. There's no point in sugarcoating it, and I really do, and trust me, I really do not enjoy having to come on this channel every single time he plays and tearing into him. because he's a Celtic player. He's done his best at times to show he's a Celtic player, and ultimately he wants to be a Celtic player. There's no denying that aspect of it. He wants to be a Celtic player, and I hate having to come on here and lever him every single time he plays, because he is trying, but he is simply not good enough. Mikey Johnston is simply not a Celtic player. He had a massive opportunity today, an opportunity that, if I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't have gave him. I think he's been done much longer ago than today. If you ask my friends, I was surprised to see Johnston on the team sheet. I really did not think that he would have got in, but he did. So he had a massive chance to prove himself against a championship outfit, and he didn't do it. I didn't see one positive from Mikey Johnston today. Not one. I didn't leave any phase of play, and Ryan McGinley's in the chat. Nice to see you. I didn't see one phase of play from Mikey Johnston today that made me go, lovely. Everything that he done today I thought was wrong. I thought he was poor, and he's just not a Celtic player. Anthony Devine, I think it was, or who put the comment in? Sorry, it wasn't Anthony Devine, it was Batsmark Van Catlord. What a name. MJ should have went on loan to Aberdeen, to the Sheep. Maybe he should have, but he's not a Celtic player. Today was a massive opportunity for him, and he didn't take it, and he's went off with perhaps another injury. If that's another injury, there's no more time left for Mikey Johnston this club. There's no more opportunities to give him. We need to move on. He needs to move on. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, have been on the fence of, or on the side of Mikey Johnston isn't good enough for years now. But every time he's came back, I've been willing to give him that opportunity. I've been willing to give him that chance, because it's only fair. It's only right to do so. You know, he's a Celtic player, but he's just not good enough. And today he was very, very poor. That was on the left-hand side. Well, let's talk about the right-hand side. Ryan McGinley. Time to get rid of the dead wood. Forrest Johnston this summer, as they're not good enough. They're not good enough anymore. Let's talk about that right-hand side. James Forrest. He's not good enough anymore. And I'm seeing a lot of comments. I want to pull up comments. Good evening, Zach. Nice to see you, son. I want to bring up some comments about Forrest that I've seen in the chat, because I think there's a lot of things that have been said that are very true, and they have to be said. There was a lot that were there. Let's bring up. I do feel bad for Johnston, but he's simply not good enough. I feel like it is time for Johnston to move on from Celtic. He is part of that dead wood, as McGinley said. This is kind of me into the three things we've learned, by the way. But you know, I see a lot of comments. Forrest has lost the legs. Aidan, very spot on. He's lost so much of his pace. I think there was a lot of comments though about Forrest that I think everybody knows and everybody will agree with. He's a Celtic legend. He'll always be a Celtic legend. He's played over 500 times for this club. You don't get to 500 appearances without doing something right. He will always be a legend. He's also finished. I don't look at James Forrest and look at a player who has a deserving place in this team right now. I know it's been difficult for James Forrest, and there's going to be a lot of people who, and this will be up after the stream, yes, there's going to be a lot of people for James Forrest who will have a sympathetic and a kind of, maybe a bit of nostalgia, but a lot of, what's that word again? What's the word? A little bit of, you know, they just want to hold on. They want to hold on for the sake of... I forgot that word. It's just slipped my head. It's what cost Celtic last season. Holding on to Lennon. Holding on to Brown. What is that word? But you know what I mean. You know, a lot of people will back him up and they say, oh, he's really... I'm not wanting to turn... Look, listen, this isn't what I want to say. Good point. Let's not turn this into a hate Forrest, Fred. I'm just saying he isn't contributing the way he used to. You could tell... Absolutely. I think so. I think everybody in the comments has to understand that James Forrest has been fantastic, but I think there is a... You know, you should be allowed to say that he hasn't been good enough. He hasn't been since he's came back. I know it's been a struggle for fitness, but he's simply not good enough to be a Celtic player anymore, I don't think. Every single game, and I alluded to this in the podcast a few weeks ago. Sentimentality, that's the word. Thank you, everybody. Rory and Aidan, thank you. Sentimentality, that's a lot to play with it. A lot to do with it. But the thing is with Forrest, right? I alluded to the podcast that I thought he was finished, but I was willing to wait for a few more appearances. But every single time he's played, he's took the ball, he's not been quick enough. He's not made decisions quick enough. He's not been physically quick enough or mentally quick enough. And today, he's made this exact move. Every game I have watched him this season, every single game, he's took the ball on the right-hand side, he's started cutting in, and he's ran across the entire back line without moving it, without taking a shot, when he's had an opportunity to, without doing anything. He's just ran across the entire back line. And he's done that in every single game he's played this season. It doesn't work. It's not good enough. And it shows signs of a player who I think is very low in confidence, morale. Maybe not morale. I don't want to say he's low in morale. That would be me creating a situation. But he's very low in confidence, I think. Today he had that opportunity before he ran across that back line to shoot about 3 times. The space and the time was there and he didn't do it. I don't know if he's down to his ability to hit the shot. Maybe get it in target or something. But he simply just doesn't have it. He always wants... Aaron, a very good comment as well. I'm bringing a lot of comments up because I'm liking them. He always wants to hit it on his left for some reason, even though he's got no left foot. Exactly. That's what it looks like. You see him coming in for the right, and he keeps going across that back line so he can maybe get it on his left. I don't know, but Forrest and Johnston for me are 2 players who... They are simply not part of the Ange Postecoglou revolution, I would say. And I want Forrest to be, I really do. And I'd want Johnson to be, I really would. But I just don't think that's going to happen. And I think we need to accept that reality. I think maybe loan moves could be suggestions I'm seeing in the chat. But I just, right now, don't look at them as players who have a really strong place in this team. I really don't. And you know, if we're talking about things we learned today, Jota just looks magic once again in the goals we've spoke about. But Julien is back. I'm so happy to see him back. There was a reason that he didn't start the game. A lot of people were complaining on social media that he wasn't starting the game. There is a reason. I think we've seen that reason. That reason is simply he still looks as though he's getting up to speed. I think the first thing I said when he came onto the park, and the first thing that my pals around me, Kieran Auld and David, said to me was, he does look slow. I think there's a reason Ange didn't have him in that starting lineup, and there's a reason he won't be in that starting lineup anytime soon. He needs minutes in the legs, he needs that match fitness, and he'll get that, and I hope he does. And I'm just very, very happy that he is back in the team. He's obviously, look, listen, you don't expect, the guy's been out for over a year. He's not going to come back looking at $1 million. He's not going to come back looking 100%. I think Zach's used a good word here. He did look sluggish, but he done things right. And what's important is he's back. He got that reception from the crowd. He'll feed off that. And I'm looking forward to it. And McGinley makes a very key point. ACL injury will make him slow. It happens to everybody. But listen, 400 plus days, as Kyle's point out here. He will get back to it, hopefully anyway. 449 donation once again from Sticky Fingers. Thank you very much. Sir Johnson needs a lower away for a season to find his form, because you said that the way he's playing he isn't anywhere near a Celtic player. Sticky Fingers is a suggestion. It is. Yeah. I think that for me personally, I think that a loan move could make sense for Celtic as a football club, because there is something to maybe be done with Johnson, and maybe there's something there. But I think that if an offer came in to see him go permanently, I'd maybe take it. But thank you very much for the donation. It is much appreciated. But that is my thoughts pretty much from today's game. It was a tale of two halves once again. This time we were better in the second half rather than the first half. But listen, we're through to the next round of the Cup. It's 4 more goals. It's a clean sheet. We had Chelsea Dagger playing over the tannoy. It can't be much better. Hopefully that standing section is open again soon. Ryan McGinley said he'd let him go away on a permanent deal, and I wouldn't be adverse to that either. Right, let's have a wee bit of fun for 10-15 minutes. Let's do it. I mean, it's just me. It's a bit of fun. It's Super Bowl Sunday. You only get this once a year. Who likes the Super Bowl? I don't know. Do you like it? I don't really. I'm fine with it. I do like it. But I'm not happy about the half. Well, I'm not a big fan of the halftime acts this year. Rap's not really my thing. Legends, absolute legends, but it's not really my thing. But let's have a bit of fun. Let's have a Q&A. Just me. And let's just talk about Celtic. Let's get all questions in. Anything about Celtic, get it in. The first one coming in from Plexiplox, as Ryan, I know you're buzzing for that, mate. You don't need to tell me. Plexiplox with the first question of this evening. $2 donation. I like how it's been donated in dollars as well, because the US theme of tonight. If we purchase Cameron Carter Vickers, would we sell Julian, says Plexiplox. I think that the sale of Christopher Julian is one we discussed a little bit on the last podcast. Ryan McGinley says he doesn't think he'll be a Celtic player next season. I said I think he will be. I don't think that comes down to Carter Vickers though. I think if he was to go, I think it would have more to do with who else comes in. I think that it would matter on depth. That's the reason I don't think Julian will go just now, because if Cameron Carter Vickers goes and doesn't come back, we don't have a great depth in centre halves. But I think we need to sign more than one for us to even consider Julian going, but I don't think Julian will go. Gareth, thank you very much. £8.63. That's a fantastic donation, fantastic number there. 63 for Kieran Tierney. But thank you, Gareth. It's much appreciated. He said, just thought I'd send a few quid your way. Been subscribed since the days of FIFA 17 career mode and still loving it. Hail, hail, Gareth. You're an absolute legend, mate. I appreciate that, and thank you for watching for all these years. It is really much appreciated. Right, there's so many questions like coming through here that if you really want me to answer one and I don't get to it, feel free to spam it till it comes up. But obviously, it's going to be impossible for me to get to every single question. But I'll try and go through everyone that I can as quickly as possible so that I can see and get through as many. So I have missed a few already that have like flew off my screen. So as I said, just put it in until you feel like I could get there. Topic Talker says, Ryan, thoughts on the attendance today? I feel the people who can't be there all the time are getting unfairly criticised because some people have certain reasons why they can't be there all the time. Listen, I kind of touched on my thoughts. I just hate these home games. I can understand why people don't want to go to them. I hate it. But it was a pissed of rain, 4 o'clock a Sunday, we're playing Rafe Rovers, it's not going to be the best quality. I can understand why people don't want to go to them, but I wish they did. If people can't go for whatever reasons, that's fine, that's not my judgment. I just wish that we could get as more people in the stadium as possible. The attendance today was poor, it was really poor. Gary Moore, £5, I'll send you more money if you don't talk about the Super Bowl, mate. Okay, Super Bowl away. Gone, right? Gone. No more Super Bowl. We'll wait and see what the questions are like. Christ, there's so many. I want to get through these two donations first as well. Sticky Fingers again with 4.49. Wow, Ledge, that's about 15 quid tonight, mate. You're a hero. Thank you. Sean McGinley is watching. Thank fuck he's sorted out that haircut. Oh, McGinley's coming for you, mate. He's coming for you. Right, let's see. Beans has put this in about 3 times. Ryan, would you rather eat chicken nugget out of Ryan Kent's used sock or drink milk out of Ryan Jack's book? I would rather Bud Dwyer. Let's leave it at that. We'll leave it at Bud Dwyer. If you know, you know. If you don't know, then don't look it up. Let's see. There's so many questions flying in. Right, this was one that was, let's bring this up because this was part of Sticky Fingers' first donation, which I feel like it's fair to try and bring back in now. Do I think we can win the Conference League? Of course we can. Any team can win the Conference League. The word can is, I've lost it. I want to get that question back up, but it's gone now. I can't get it back up. There we go. Mark, do you think we can win the Conference League? Of course we can. Of course we can win that. It all depends on what draw you get, how favourable it is of winning that, and how your chances change. But there's no reason why we can't with the football we've been playing, with the ability we've been showing, and just overall how good we've been this season. There's no reason why we can't. There's teams in there that I'm confident we can beat the best teams in that competition. If Spurs were still in it, we could beat fucking Spurs, in my opinion. Yes, we can win it. That is my answer. Will we win it? We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see who we get in like the next round. Christ, there's so many questions. Thank you. There's over 330 people who are watching the stream right now. So thank you all very much. It is appreciated. And as I said, if I can't get your questions, I'm gonna be. Well, listen, McBride, son. Listen, no, we can't replace Gunter Steiner. Not a chance. No, absolutely not. Maybe another team. Maybe like, I don't know, Alfa Romeo or something. We're not replacing Gunter Steiner. Not a chance. Let's see. Ryan, would you swap Forrest for his brother Alan after today's performance? Maybe there's a shout on that. Good question from Zach. I like this. Zach Goodwin, thoughts on Weed and Belly? I like that. Good to see him get minutes in the B team today. Hopefully we see something of him, of course. Sorry, I'll fix this, don't worry. Hopefully we see him back in the first team sometime soon. It would be good to, it was unfortunate how he had to miss so much of the season because of that leg injury, but it's very much important that he gets minutes in his legs. That's what matters most, I think, and he's got that today in the B team. Hopefully he signs a new contract as well. I think that Celtic's a place that would be very beneficial for him right now. His stock isn't going to be that high at this moment in time. He's missed a lot of football. I know we've had this wonder kid thing around the belly for years, but ultimately, what has he done over the past few years to try and get that move now? I think staying at Celtic's wise for him. Let's get minutes in that B team. Let's get back into this team, and maybe he could be of great use to Ange Postecoglou. Mark, favourite F1 driver and track? Favourite drivers, Max Verstappen, and favourite track would probably be Oh, what's my favourite? I mean, Monaco's the basic bit chancer, isn't it? I do like Monaco. Monza, I really like Monza. I mean, it's just good, isn't it? It's just straight. I like Austria. I like Austria. Austria, actually. Maybe Austria's my favourite. I really like Austria. Joseph Coyle, hello, son. Nice to see you. Ryan McGinley, I see a good question from you there as well, son. Joseph Coyle, will you be at the Scotland versus Ukraine game on the 24th of March? I am, because that's my dad's birthday. Of course, Joseph, much love, and I'm sure it would have been great for you to watch with your dad. It's good it's fell on his birthday. Love that. Scotland versus Ukraine, 24 match. I will not be there, sadly, but I will be watching. I won't be there though. I don't get tickets for the Scotland games. What's happened to the Twitch days? The Twitch will be back when I'm out of it. We'll talk about it all when I'm made redundant, right? Don't worry. We'll welcome up so many fucking questions. I'm loving this. Young Ryan, you look like a spaceman with these specs. Thank you. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I love these new specs, I really do. Who would I take the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup? Give us Ibrox. Give us Ibrox. I might win a treble the hard way. So let's do it. Let's see. How many things did I steal from the Axum studio? None, sadly. Paul John would not have allowed that. Not a chance. Many fans would go. A good question from Adam here. I really like this. How many fans would go to Tirana if we reached the final, and would I go? Of course I would go. Me and Kieran Auld would be booking flights at the first opportunity. I reckon that we wouldn't see Seville numbers of fans, but I think we'd see tens of thousands go to Tirana. And you know for a fact, we Ilir Meta, the president of Albania, would be welcoming. He'd be bringing us in boats and planes and trains and every sort of transportation available. He would be bringing us into the country because he loves the Celtic. He loves the leather belts. But we'll have to wait and see if we get there. I'd certainly be there, I tell you what. Ryan McGinley brought this up and I skipped it by accident, but you got Don's manager. Who's it going to be? Jim Goodwin. I'll go for Jim Goodwin. But he had to go. He really did have to go. Bahrain's good as well. I do like Bahrain, Ben. I do like Bahrain. Let's see. Oh, God. So many good questions tonight, lads. You're knocking this out the park right now. I'm loving this. What do you mean Monaco's right? Monaco's a classic. It's in the Triple Crown of Motorsport. Come on. Gotta love Monaco. It's all the glitz and the grandeur, isn't it? God, there's so many questions, man. This is brilliant. So many F1 questions been answered. I'm telling you, it's going to be on my second channel. Going to do F1 stuff next year, definitely. Or this year, I should say. Let's see. Thoughts on Tierney to Madrid. We kind of touched this in the podcast. I said he'd hit the heights. He'd go to the very, very top. And if he gets a move to Real Madrid, then, you know, it's just backed up everything that I thought of the guy. You know, absolutely. Whoops, didn't mean that. I think it'd just be absolutely tremendous if we seen the likes of Kieran Tierney get to the very, very top. Because he does deserve it. He deserves every single last bit of it to go to the very top and show his talent at the highest level. No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't. Do you think once up to fitness, Julian should be put in with Cameron Carter-Vickers? No, until I see evidence that he deserves to be, I don't think we should disrupt that great partnership of Starfelt and Cameron Carter-Vickers because I really like it. White Album. Let's see. I'm looking. Right, is this one of these situational questions from Aidan McDowell? I always like these. They're always a bit of fun. Would you rather we win the Scottish Cup in the league but got knocked out off Bodo, or we win the Conference League and the Scottish Cup but don't win the league? I'd rather win the league and the Scottish Cup. That easy answer to that. Listen, I would love to win a European trophy, trust me, but it's not the Europa League we're talking about here. I want the league title back. I really do. I'd go for the league title. Juranovic or Tierney? Damn. I'm not answering that question. Meow. Let's see. Oh God, there's so many good questions tonight. There's nowhere higher than Real Madrid or Barca, even though with Man City, PSG, and Madrid and Barca are still the biggest to planet. It is right. It's spot on. They're the two biggest clubs in the world. They are. Ultimately, I don't care what anyway. As you all know, I like Man United. I think Man United are probably a close third to those two. Those two will be and always have been the biggest clubs in the world, I think, in terms of where players can go. Celtic's the biggest in the world, isn't it? But, you know, in terms of where players can go, Barca and Madrid will always be the heights. Always will be. Juranovic or John Lennon? Meow. That's a horrible question to ask me. Do you think Ange needs to stop rotating the squad so much? From Zach. Listen, squad rotation, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It's such a tough one. Squad rotation is so fickle. For supporters, because we're not the ones that watch the team on a training ground. We don't know who's ready for a game and who's not. But, you know, you rotate a team, you get a result, you're like, woo, brilliant, Ange. Very smart. He rotated. He saved legs for the next game, and we've won the game. Brilliant. You rotate a game you don't play so well, then suddenly it's, why do you rotate the team? It is so hard to balance that. It is really, really, really hard to balance that. That sort of, do you or do you not rotate the team? I think Ange has rotated wrong a few times this season, and I think he's probably known that. But I think overall, we've reaped the rewards. We've got the results we've needed, and things haven't went too badly. Today's rotation, look, listen, we weren't entertaining, but we won. And we were still 1-0 up at half time. It's so damned if you do, damned if you don't. And if you would put in the words of Brendan, I cannot be bothered tonight. No after that shift. No tonight, Adam, sadly. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Christ, so many questions. Can I do it tonight? My voice is... I can't dig deep enough for it. I really can't. Ryan, for the future reference, Padraig is pronounced Podrig. I've always been saying Padraig, haven't I? It's just because I speak so soon. You've been done, Adam. You've been absolutely done, a belter. He is here. He is here. I've not to bother with the impressions. I've not to bother. Who would I take as vice-captain over Beaton? Joe Hart. Easy. Easy question. Joe Hart, vice-captain for me. Right now at this moment in time. But it appears to be their Beaton, and I'm not gonna complain about it too much. Christ, brilliant chat tonight. I'm loving this. Now, I like these wee things, and when I go full time doing the YouTube stuff, I'll be make sure to do more of these things more often. I'm bringing back streaming altogether, so I'll try and do a lot more. Let's see. Who would you bring in? Would you bring in a new backup goalkeeper? Yes. Now the question is, will we? I don't know, because Scott Bain has signed that new contract. However, I am assuming, sadly, that Barkas will leave the club over the next 4 or 5 months. Which means I think we do need to bring in one. Scott Bain has obviously signed that contract. So I don't know what that means in terms of, is he going to be the backup? Is he just here for depth? If it was up to me, I would go and sign a new backup goalkeeper. I would like us to maybe go and push for somebody like Siegrist. But I think ultimately, what you've got to understand about backup keepers is, and the one thing that makes it more the difficult is when you want to sign a backup goalkeeper, you're really needing to find someone who is understandably going to be a backup goalkeeper. A lot of goalkeepers, quite rightfully, will want to be playing in the team. The goalkeeping position is obviously the one where you're like, you might not see any minutes. So you're either going to sign someone incredibly old, or you're going to sign somebody who's like, I don't care, I'll be the backup. And they might be hard to find. So it's a really difficult one. But as Cassius Clay has brought up here, Muhammad Ali himself would give Olawayemi a chance. And you know what? I would as well. Another donation from Sticky Fingers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I know it's not Celtic, but thoughts on Glass being sacked. It had to happen. I mean, if I was an Aberdeen fan, I would have been surprised it's not happened by now. I thought it would have been gone by now, but however, it's done now. Yes, Beans, I do remember that. I remember you telling me very clearly, and a lot of people laughed at you, but here we are. You've got it right. One thing you've got right out of many wrongs. But I do remember. Let's see. I seen one that I wanted to bring up. I really liked the look of a question, and I cannot find it now. It was a good question though, and it slipped my mind. It's gone now. So it is what it is. Ryan to replace Boyd in Sky Sports, sign the petition. Listen, if anybody wanted to make that petition, I would happily sign it. I would happily take his job. For some reason, I feel like Sky probably wouldn't want me to take his job, because he gets him a lot of views at the end of the day. So yeah, let's scroll down. Let's go through a few more questions. Let's try and get through a few more before I decide to call it a night. I've still to get something to eat because I was working to 10:15. So I really need to try and get some stuff done. Are TSF coming to Dublin for Ireland versus Scotland? Who knows? Maybe. I doubt it though. I'm saving my money for other trips. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm the biggest Scotland follower in the world. Now that Celtic are good again, Scotland are a bit on the back burners, but I do still support them. I still want them to win, but it's very much Celtic priority for me at this moment in time. Thoughts on John Reid? Hi Ange. That's all. That's it. That's literally my opinions. Get Chris Boyd on the Celtic Thunder. Christ, I wish. I've seen this question a few times. Thoughts on St Mirren? If you listen to Talk Scottish Football, you know that I try and big up St Mirren at any opportunity for some reason. Christ, Let's see. We'll try and get like 3 more questions in. Send us your best questions. I want your best. Oh, Gareth McDonald. Brilliant. I like this. £2.50. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's a really nice gesture of you. Right, a nice thing to do. It's not really a gesture because you've done it. Scales or Taylor, O'Reilly or Turnbull? Very quickly to answer that question. The second one's easier. O'Reilly over Turnbull. And the first one, I am a big fan of what I've seen of Scales so far. And I've always been kind of about Taylor. But Taylor's played well recently. So it's a really tough one. Right now, I think Taylor just edges it. Just. Sign a left back would be my answer, to be quite honest. Will Barkas still rise in Easter Sunday? Right, of course he will, John. Of course he will. He will not fail us. He will rise again. Which Mr. Tato, Ryan? You're asking me now. You should know my answer if you listen to the podcast. The right answer is my answer. Let's see. We'll try and dance through a couple more. Do you think we'll keep Juranovic in the summer? Really good question from Connor. I like that. Yes, I do think we will. I think we'll keep Connor on... Connor. Yes, we'll keep you, Connor. I think we'll keep Juranovic in the summer. I think he will remain at the club. And I think that we'll get another year out of him at least, as well as all the players Ange just signed. I don't think any will be off just yet. I think we can do enough to keep them here, both in terms of Ange Postecoglou's influence and the club itself influence and the direction we are going in. This is a place that people want to be at the moment, I think. I know money talks, and I am accepting to that. I understand that reality, but I think that we will honestly... I honestly do think that we will keep those players. I think we'll keep the likes of Juranovic and Hatate and Kyogo and all of these players. I think we'll keep them. Jota and Carter Vickers are the big ones because they're only loans. We'll wait and see what happens, but I'm going to keep happy about it. Who do you think? Oh, that's a good question. That is a really, really good question. I love this, right? That's a really good question, Dean. And I want everybody's answers in the chat to this, right? Okay. Ryan, we are arguing in the chat. Who do you think runs the aux cable in the changing room since Brunei's away? Of course, right, if you don't know what an aux cable is, in case you're actually young and you use Bluetooth and you use fucking Spotify and all the rest of it, right? An aux cable is what the old ones used to use to put their music on through the jukebox or whatnot, right? Or the speakers. So, the man who was in charge was, of course, Scott Brown. He was in charge of the dressing room tunes. Scott Brown is now gone. So now, who is in charge of the dressing room tunes? That is a really good question. Now, I think the first name that honestly jumps off my head is this guy. I think Juranovic might have a few good tunes. I really do. But I've got to go with my boy. And I've got to go with my man. I've got to go with my favourite player. It's got to be him, isn't it? It's got to be, as John said, it's got to be Joe Hart. It's got to be Joe Hart, surely, that's on the tunes. I'm convinced that it's Joe Hart on the tunes. Wee bit of party rock anthem. Free Lions. It's got to be Joe. He just seems like he's the guy that loves it. Cal Mack with the BAM tunes, maybe. He is a Springboy boy after all. But I've seen a lot of... So we've got... Zach thinks Joe Hart. We've got a Ralston, Cal Mack, Hart, Scott Bain, Cal McGregor, Joe Hart as well, Juranovic, somebody saying Postecoglou. I think it's got to be Joe. That's a really good question. I like that. I really do like that. £2.50 from Gareth again. Thank you so much, mate. You don't need to, but thank you. Last one. We're going to get artwork behind you. Very nice. Good plug. So, so they're all from different places. The drawings I have, I've got drawings of Tommy Burns, Frank McAvenny, David Turnbull, and I've got some other ones that the same guy gave me. William Dowling, look him up on Twitter. William Dowling drew them, sent me them for free. A lot of the posters are just from random Instagram shops and Redbubble and places like that, just marketplaces. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got my new Jota print that I got on Twitter. You can see that on my Twitter account from someone on Twitter as well. Yeah, there you go. That's the advertisement for some folk there. And yeah, so has the Super Bowl started? I thought it wasn't until midnight. Christ, I'm missing it out. Right, I'm going to end it there. It's been a fantastic. I've loved this. If you enjoy it, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more of these things, because they can be really fun. Maybe at better times than 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, but you know they can be fun. And I'm looking forward to doing more things like this when it comes to I'll get the Dembele top framed, of course, Zach. When it comes back to the Oh my God, what was I going to say? When it comes to me being full time on this, I'll be doing stuff like this a lot more often, and I'll be doing a lot more content, more than one video a day, stuff like that. I am buzzing. Thank you, everybody. I really do appreciate you all being here. I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope you enjoy the Super Bowl if you watched that. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, with a video. But until then, I'll see you all next time. Appreciate you. See you all next time.